So imagine you are walking down a cobblestone street in a brand new city. You're miles away from home.
Ah, that is such a wonderful feeling.
It really is, right? The streetlights are just starting to glow against the evening sky, and the air around you is filled with the absolute most incredible smell. You can smell roasted garlic, fresh bread, and, rich, dark coffee spilling out from the cafes.
And your stomach rumbles.
Exactly. Your stomach rumbles, you are genuinely hungry, and you want to experience the local culture.
Yeah.
But as you step up to the door of this beautiful little restaurant, your hand suddenly freezes on the handle.
Because the fear sets in.
Yeah, your heart starts to beat just a little bit faster because you realize to get that amazing food, to sit at that comfortable table, you have to do something that can feel, well, terrifying. You have to walk inside and you have to speak English.
It is a very real, very common fear for beginners. It is a moment of pure vulnerability. When you open that door, you are stepping onto a stage.
Right, like everyone is watching you.
Yes, exactly like that. It is so easy to feel like everyone is watching you, just waiting for you to make a grammatical mistake or, I don't know, use the wrong vocabulary word. If you have ever felt that nervous energy, we want you to know that it's completely natural.
But what if I told you that opening that restaurant door does not have to be scary at all? What if, instead of feeling like a stressful test that you have to pass, it felt like a game where you already know all the rules?
That changes everything.
It really does. So welcome to our deep dive. Today, we are taking the terror out of ordering food in English. We are looking at sources that are custom-tailored for English learners. And our mission today is mastering restaurant English.
We have gathered the best linguistic tactics from our sources so that ordering food feels smooth, predictable, and, well, completely manageable.
And as your teachers today, we are going to speak slowly, we are going to speak clearly, and we are going to explore this together.
That is exactly right. If you are listening to us right now, I want you to take a deep breath.
Yes, breathe in.
Let your shoulders drop. You do not need to rush, and you certainly do not need to be perfect. We are going to take this step by step.
Step by step. So what is truly fascinating about our sources today is that they focus on restaurants for a very specific reason.
Right. Whether it is a quick coffee shop on the corner, a busy fast food spot, or a very formal fine dining establishment, restaurants are the absolute most common places you will be forced to use English during your travels.
Okay, let's unpack this right away. Why are restaurants the perfect training ground for practicing English? I mean, why not a bank or a museum or like a train station?
Well, all of those places require communication, sure. But if we connect this to the bigger picture of how humans communicate, the answer comes down to one single word: predictability.
Predictability.
Yes. Restaurant conversations are incredibly repetitive. They're highly practical. And because of that, they are very easy to recognize and prepare for.
Oh, I see. Because the waiter asks the same things.
Exactly. Think about it. The waiter will almost always ask the exact same questions, in the exact same order, every single time you dine out. It follows a pattern.
A completely predictable pattern.
Right. And because it follows that pattern, the restaurant environment is the perfect tool for improving both your listening and your speaking skills. You do not have to guess what they will say. You just have to be ready for the pattern.
I love that perspective. It is like a dance where you already know all the steps before the music even starts. So wherever you are right now, maybe you're driving in your car, maybe you are cleaning your kitchen, or maybe you are sitting quietly with a notebook.
We just want you to relax.
Relax, listen carefully to the sounds of the words we discuss, and most importantly, get ready to practice out loud.
Yes, out loud.
To really build your confidence, you need to practice full sentences to improve your speaking rhythm. When we take a natural pause, that is your cue. That is your turn to talk.
We constantly encourage our students to repeat travel phrases out loud. It makes a huge difference.
It really does. So, are you ready? Let's open that restaurant door and step inside.
Let's do it.
So, we push open the door, we hear the bell ring. Before we even talk to a person, we need to build our foundation of vocabulary.
The basics.
Right, the basics. Let's look at the physical environment around us. We are not just going to read a list of words. We need to understand what they mean in context.
And we want you to repeat each word after us, nice and slow.
When you first walk in, the most important objects and people are immediately in front of you. First, you might see a host, but the person who will actually take care of you during your meal is the waiter.
Say it out loud. Waiter.
Or, if she's a woman, the waitress.
Waitress.
And their primary job initially is to guide you to your table.
Table. Say it out loud. Table.
The table is your base of operations. It is where the entire experience happens.
Exactly. And once you are at your table, they will hand you the most important document of the evening, the menu.
Menu. Try saying that. Menu.
The menu is your map of the food. It tells you everything you can order.
Order. Say it out loud. Order.
And order is such a powerful word here. It is both a noun, the food you asked for, and a verb, which is the action of asking for it.
Right. When you order, you are usually starting with a drink.
Drink. Say it clearly. Drink.
Perhaps followed by the main meal, and if you are lucky, ending with dessert.
Dessert. Try that one. Dessert.
And of course, the experience always concludes with a financial transaction. You have to ask for the bill.
Bill. Repeated. Bill.
And in many English-speaking cultures, especially in North America, you will leave a tip for the service.
Tip. Say tip.
Sometimes, to even get in the door of a busy place, you might have needed to call ahead and make a reservation.
Reservation. It is a long word, but take your time. Reservation.
So all of these elements, waiter, table, menu, order, drink, dessert, bill, tip, reservation, they form the ecosystem of the restaurant.
If you know these concepts, you can navigate almost any dining situation.
So let's put ourselves right in the middle of that ecosystem. You are standing just inside the door. The host or the waiter walks up to you. They are smiling. They are holding menus. What happens next?
Well, when you enter a restaurant, the very first thing you will likely hear is a short, simple question. The waiter will look at you, look at the people with you, and ask, how many people?
Just that.
Just that. Let me say that again slowly so you can hear the rhythm. How many people?
Wait, really? Just how many people? That feels, well, incredibly short.
What happened to this?
Hello, welcome to our restaurant. How many guests are in your dining party this evening?
That is a great observation. In a textbook, you might see that long, formal sentence. But in the real world, restaurants are busy. Waiters are moving quickly.
Ah, so they need to be fast.
Native speakers rely on efficiency. They do not ask the long question because the context makes it obvious. When they say, how many people? They're simply asking, how many people are in your group so I know what size table to find for you?
Okay, that makes sense. So how do we answer this short, direct question? Our sources give us a few perfect, simple answers depending on your situation.
Let's start with eating alone.
Right. If you are traveling alone and eating by yourself, you can simply smile, look the waiter in the eye, and say, just one.
Let's take a pause here so you can practice that out loud. Say it smoothly. Just one.
Just one. Notice how you do not need to say, I am just one person. Just one is completely sufficient.
Now, what if you're traveling with a friend or perhaps a romantic partner?
The most natural phrase to use is, table for two, please.
This is a great time to practice a full sentence to improve your speaking rhythm. Listen to the stress on the words table and two. Table for two, please.
Say it out loud with us. Table for two, please.
Beautiful.
And if you have a larger group, maybe you are traveling with your family or colleagues, you can say, we're a group of four.
Let's practice that one out loud as well. We're a group of four.
These short phrases are incredibly effective. But, this raises an important question about how native English speakers actually construct their thoughts in these situations.
What do you mean?
Well, here is where it gets really interesting to me. When I look at older language learning materials, they often teach you to say very long, grammatically complex sentences, something like, hello, I would desire a table for two people, if you please.
Oh, yes. The textbook approach.
Right. But you are telling me native speakers almost never say that.
Almost never. I like to think of practical restaurant English as a fast-moving train. It is short, it is direct, and it absolutely does not carry any unnecessary luggage.
Unnecessary luggage. I like that.
You do not need those extra words dragging you down. The waiter is busy, the restaurant is loud, there might be music playing. Short and clear is always the best choice for both you and the restaurant staff.
A fast-moving train without heavy luggage. It takes so much pressure off the learner. You don't have to build a perfect, complex paragraph. You just need the key information.
And to ride that train smoothly, we need to practice the rhythm of the sentence.
Yes, rhythm is so important. In English, we do not say every word with the exact same amount of energy or volume. Some words are naturally stronger.
Let's practice that rhythm together with our couples phrase. The strong words are table and two. The words for and please are softer. Listen closely. Table for two, please.
Let's try it together. Repeat it with me, slowly, focusing on the strong words. Table for two, please.
That rhythm is the secret to sounding natural. If you practice these full sentences out loud, your mouth gets used to the musicality of English.
Okay, we have successfully navigated the arrival. The waiter smiled, grabbed 2 menus, and walked you to your seat.
Nice work.
We are moving into the next phase of our dining experience. Sitting down and the power of politeness.
This is the big one.
You are seated at your table. It is comfortable. You take off your jacket. The lighting is nice. Usually the very next step in the routine is receiving your menus and talking about your initial drinks.
Because before you eat, you drink.
Exactly. When we think about the vocabulary of drinks, we usually encounter a few staples. Let's practice saying them.
The waiter will almost always ask what you want to drink first. You might want water, which is standard everywhere. Say it slowly. Water.
Or perhaps a soda. Repeat it. Soda.
Or some fresh juice. Try that one. Juice.
If it is a cafe, you might be looking for coffee. Say it. Coffee.
Tea is very short.
Tea. And depending on the drink, you might need to specify if you want ice. Repeat it. Ice.
Or if you need a straw. Straw.
Now imagine the waiter approaches the table, but they forgot to hand you the menu.
It happens.
Or maybe you are incredibly thirsty and you need to ask for a specific drink right away. We need to introduce a concept that I consider the golden rule of politeness in English.
Oh, this is essential.
It is arguably one of the most important expressions in the entire language. Are you ready? Here it is. Could I see the menu, please?
Could I see the menu, please? This is absolutely crucial. What is fascinating here is the deep cultural psychology behind the words, could I?
Wait, let me push back on this for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
Why do I need to say, could I? In my native language and in many languages around the world, it is perfectly polite and grammatically correct to simply state your desire.
Yes, the direct approach.
Right. You say, I want, for example, I want water, or I want the menu. It is honest. It is a fact. I am hungry. I want the food. Why does English require this extra layer of could I?
It is a very fair question. The reason is that English-speaking cultures place a massive emphasis on indirectness when making requests.
Indirectness, so not going straight to the point.
Exactly. Say, I want, in a restaurant environment, sounds to a native speaker's ear like a demand. It can sound a little bit rude or childish or too aggressive.
We don't want to sound aggressive to the person bringing us our food.
Never. By saying, could I, you are technically asking a question about possibility. You are asking, is it possible for me to have this? It gives the waiter a feeling of respect.
Okay, I see.
Native speakers use the phrase, could I, to soften the request. It sounds much more respectful, much softer, and far more natural.
Could I? It is like wrapping your words in a soft blanket before you hand them to the other person. It just makes everything sound nice and pleasant.
That is a lovely way to put it.
Let's practice making requests using this golden rule. This is a perfect opportunity to practice full sentences out loud.
Remember, repeating these travel phrases out loud is the best way to learn.
I will say the phrase, and I want you to repeat it out loud wherever you are. Feel how smooth and respectful it is. Could I have a coffee?
Take a pause and repeat. Could I have a coffee?
Let's try another one. Imagine you are ordering a burger and you love dairy. Could I have extra cheese?
Say it out loud. Could I have extra cheese?
And let's practice one for the very end of the meal. Could I have the bill?
Repeat the full sentence. Could I have the bill?
That is fantastic. If you use could I, you will immediately sound polite and culturally aware. Now, I want to pause and talk about one very specific word from our drink discussion. It is the most common drink in the world, the foundation of life, but it can be surprisingly tricky to pronounce naturally.
The word is water.
Yes, this is a very valuable moment for a pronunciation deep dive. If we look closely at American English, the pronunciation of the word water is quite unique and often confuses learners.
It really does.
Because if you just look at the letters on the page, W-A-T-E-R, it looks like it should have a very sharp, hard T sound in the middle, like water, with a strong burst of air.
Precisely. But in natural flowing American speech, that T changes dramatically.
How so?
Well, when a T is between two vowel sounds like that, it becomes what linguists call a flat T. It becomes much softer. Your tongue just taps the roof of your mouth very quickly.
So it's not a hard stop.
Right. It actually sounds much more like a D. Listen closely to how I say it. Water. Water.
Water. It rolls right off the tongue. It does not stop the breath. You don't have to pause in the middle of the word. Water.
Let's do some active practice with this because mastering this one word makes you sound incredibly fluent.
We're going to put the golden rule of politeness together with our new American pronunciation of water. I'm going to say the full phrase slowly, and I want you to repeat it out loud.
Focus on the smooth could I and the soft water.
Here we go. Could I have some water?
Repeat it with us, focusing on the rhythm. Could I have some water?
Let's do it one more time. Nice and smooth, no hard stops. Could I have some water?
That is perfect. If you said that out loud, you sound completely natural. You are using polite, culturally appropriate structures, and your pronunciation is getting smoother and faster without losing clarity.
So now picture the scene. We have our water, and we are holding the menu. We are comfortable. This brings us to the core of the experience. Ready, waiter, and making choices.
It is time to look at the food.
Just like we talked about the environment, let's think about the categories of food you will encounter.
When you look at a menu, dishes are usually organized by their main ingredient. You will commonly see sections for chicken dishes.
Say that with us. Chicken,
Or
beef,
beef.
or fish.
Fish.
You will also see carbohydrates like rice,
Repeat it.
bread,
Bread.
or pasta.
Pasta.
And for starters or lighter meals, you'll find soup
Say soup.
and salad.
Salad.
So you read through the options and you finally know exactly what you want to eat.
You close your menu and place it flat on the table.
Yes, that is actually a universal signal to the restaurant staff that you have made a decision.
Oh, that's a good tip. The waiter notices and walks over. It is time for the key action phrase of this entire experience. The sentence you will use to transition the conversation is, "I'm ready to order."
I'm ready to order. The word order really is the engine that drives the entire restaurant process.
Let's analyze how to say this word with confidence. Order has two parts, two syllables. Order. What you need to know for natural rhythm is that the first syllable carries all the weight. It is much stronger than the second.
Like pushing the sound out on the first part.
Yes, listen to my voice. Order. I push the air out on the or, and I completely relax on the dare. Order.
Let's practice that together. Focus on pushing the energy into the beginning of the word. Repeat out loud, order.
Very good. It is a vital word to recognize because you will hear it in many different contexts. The waiter might ask, "Are you ready to order?"
Or you might talk about it later saying, we ordered pizza.
Okay, so you smile and tell the waiter, "I'm ready to order." The waiter takes out their small notepad and a pen. They look at you expectantly.
Now it is time to make the choice. How do you tell them exactly what you want from the menu?
The best, most natural sentence to use is, "I'd like the chicken, please."
I'd like the chicken, please. Now, wait a minute. Let me pause right here and ask you a question about this phrasing.
Go right ahead.
When I studied English grammar in school, I spent a lot of time learning the phrase, I would like. I learned to say, I would like the chicken. But here, our source material explicitly says to use I'd like. Why are we squishing those words together? Why do we shorten it?
That is a brilliant observation about the gap between textbook English and spoken English.
It's always different, isn't it?
It often is. Yes. Grammatically speaking, I like is simply the contraction, the short form of I would like. But in everyday spoken English, native speakers almost always use the short form.
Why is that?
It is about the flow of conversation and removing unnecessary pauses. Saying I would like sounds very deliberate, almost heavy.
You know, I like to compare I would like to wearing a very stiff, very formal business suit, a tuxedo even.
That's a fun way to picture it.
It is perfectly fine, it is grammatically correct, and no one will misunderstand you. But it feels a little rigid. I'd like, on the other hand, is like putting on your favorite, most comfortable sweater.
It just feels better.
Exactly. It sounds warmer. It sounds significantly more natural and conversational.
Let's practice the comfortable sweater version. We want you to feel the rhythm of it.
I will say the full sentence and you repeat it out loud. I'd like the chicken, please.
Let the words flow together. I'd like the chicken, please.
Let's try it with another food. I'd like the pasta, please.
Say it out loud. I'd like the pasta, please.
Perfect. But let's imagine a different scenario. What if you open the menu and there are 50 different things to choose from?
Oh, those massive menus.
Yes, the menu is huge. You see chicken, beef, fish, things you don't even recognize. You are confused. You simply do not know what to eat.
That can feel overwhelming.
It can, but it is actually a wonderful opportunity to practice your English, interact with the locals, and probably get a truly great meal.
Absolutely. If you do not know what to choose, you should not feel pressured to guess. You can ask the waiter for help. They know the food better than anyone.
What should we ask them?
The perfect question to ask in this situation is, what do you recommend? This means, what do you think is good here? What is your personal favorite? What is the chef's specialty?
What do you recommend? Let's do a pronunciation deep dive on that big word at the end, recommend. It looks long and intimidating on paper, but we can break it down into easy pieces.
Yes, let's break it down into 3 manageable parts. Recommend.
Recommend.
Now, the trick to making this sound natural is the stress, the musical rhythm. The strongest, loudest part of this word is the very last part. Recommend. Listen again to how my voice rises at the end. Recommend.
Let's practice the whole question together. This is a genuinely great phrase for traveling anywhere in the world.
Look up at your imaginary waiter and ask, what do you recommend?
Repeat it slowly and clearly. What do you recommend?
Excellent. If you ask that, the waiter will be very happy to share their favorite dish with you. People love talking about good food.
Moving right along, we arrive at the phase of customizing the meal and asking questions.
This is very practical.
Sometimes knowing the name of the food is simply not enough. You might see chicken and rice on the menu, but you still need to ask a few questions before you commit to ordering.
Just to make sure the food is exactly what you want, or to make sure it fits your dietary needs.
We have some incredibly useful practical questions from our source text for exactly this situation.
These questions are vital for making sure you actually enjoy your meal, and they are great for practicing full, natural sentences. Let's practice them.
The first one is about the heat level of the food, the spices. Is it spicy?
Take a moment and repeat that. Is it spicy?
The next one is about specific ingredients. Maybe you have an allergy, or maybe you just don't like dairy. Does this have cheese?
Repeat out loud. Does this have cheese?
The third question is brilliant for understanding portion sizes and side dishes. What comes with this?
Try saying that out loud. What comes with this?
And the final one is about making a swap, taking control of your order. Can I change the side dish?
Repeat it. Can I change the side dish?
I want to stop and highlight one specific word from that list because it comes up constantly in food conversations all over the world, especially if you are traveling in regions known for strong flavors.
Which word is that?
The word is spicy.
Ah, yes. Spicy. It sounds like a fun word to say.
It does. Let's look at how to pronounce it perfectly. It is simply 2 parts. Spicy.
The first part sounds exactly like the English word for a secret agent, a spy.
Spy.
And the second part is just the sound of the letter C, or the ocean. C.
Put them together smoothly. Spicy. Say it slowly with me out loud. Spicy.
Spicy. Beautiful. Now, I have another question, pushing back on the reality of how restaurants actually operate.
What's on your mind?
Well, we've talked a lot about politely ordering when the waiter is standing right there at the table looking at you. But what if the waiter is busy walking past?
That happens all the time. Right. What if I am in the middle of eating and I realize I dropped my napkin on the floor, or I really need some extra ketchup for my fries? How do I get the waiter's attention politely? I don't want to snap my fingers or shout across the room. That feels incredibly rude.
You are exactly right to worry about that. Snapping your fingers, whistling, or shouting, hey, is considered very rude and highly offensive to service staff in English-speaking cultures. You must never do that.
Good to know. So what is the alternative?
To get attention politely, we use a simple verbal polite interruption. You wait until they're walking near your table, you try to make eye contact, and the phrase is simply, excuse me.
Just excuse me?
Yes. You say it clearly, loud enough to be heard over the restaurant noise, but gently, excuse me.
Excuse me. It is like a magic key that pauses whatever they're doing without insulting them. And once they stop, turn around, and look at you, what do we say next?
Once you have their attention with, excuse me, you immediately use our polite requests. Just like our golden rule from earlier. We use could or can.
Let's practice a few of these full sentences out loud to improve your natural rhythm and confidence in handling unexpected situations.
Here is the first scenario. You drop your napkin. You catch the waiter's eye. Excuse me, could we get some napkins?
Let's practice that whole flow. Listen carefully and repeat, excuse me, could we get some napkins?
Let's try another very common scenario. You need more sauce for your meal. Excuse me, can I have extra sauce?
Repeat that full sentence out loud. Excuse me, can I have extra sauce?
Practicing these full combined sentences, linking the gentle interruption of, excuse me, directly to the polite request, builds incredible speaking rhythm. You sound smooth, polite, and completely in control of the dining situation, even when something goes wrong.
Okay, we are doing incredibly well. We have ordered our food, we have customized our side dishes, we handled a dropped napkin like a pro, and the hot food has finally arrived.
You are eating your chicken, it is not too spicy, everything is perfect.
Suddenly, the waiter appears at your table again, interrupting your meal. What are they going to ask?
Waiters have a very specific routine they follow. Our sources outline the common questions you will hear at different points in the meal.
Like what?
Well, they might recap the beginning if someone arrives late with, "Are you ready to order?" Later, if your glass is empty, they might ask, "Would you like anything to drink?"
But there's one question they always ask, right?
Yes, the absolute most important mid-meal question, the one they will reliably ask about 5 minutes after you have taken your first few bites, is, "How is everything?"
How is everything? I remember the first time I learned that phrase, I thought it was such a massive philosophical question, like, how is my life? How is the universe? How is my family doing?
That is a very common reaction for language learners.
But in a restaurant setting, it means something very, very specific, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and it can be confusing if you translate it literally.
Hmm.
In the specific context of a restaurant, when a waiter asks, "How is everything?" they simply mean, "How is your food?" That is all they want to know.
Oh, just the food.
They are checking to make sure the meat is cooked properly, the temperature is right, and that you are happy with the meal.
So we need some positive answers to reply to the waiter. It is nice to be polite, show appreciation, and let them know they are doing a good job.
Here are 3 wonderful, natural responses from our sources.
I will say them slowly, and you practice saying them out loud. Imagine you are chewing your food, you smile at the waiter, and you say, "Everything is great."
Repeat the full sentence. Everything is great.
Let's try this one, which is a bit more enthusiastic. It's delicious.
Say it out loud. It's delicious.
And a simple, polite classic that works in any situation.
Very good, thank you.
Repeat that out loud.
Very good, thank you.
Let's take a closer look at that middle phrase, delicious. It is a long word, but it is undoubtedly the best, most expressive word to describe amazing food in English.
It is a fantastic word. Let's look at the pronunciation, because the spelling can be deceiving. When native speakers say delicious, the middle sounds become very soft and smooth. It breaks down like this.
Delicious. Delicious. The stress, the power of the word is entirely on the middle part, lish.
So it's not delicious.
No, not at all. Listen to the rhythm and the rise of my voice. Delicious.
Let's try that together. Say it slowly,
Mm-hmm.
emphasizing the middle. Delicious.
Wonderful. Now, let's fast forward a bit in our imaginary evening. You have finished your delicious chicken, the plates are empty, and the waiter comes to clear them away.
Now comes the best part of the meal for many people, the sweet finish.
Oh, yes.
Let's look at our vocabulary for the end of the meal. Repeat after me as we build this final list.
Cake.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Chocolate.
Pie.
Cookie.
Cookie.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. The waiter will likely walk over, maybe hand you a smaller menu, and ask a crucial question. Would you like dessert?
Would you like dessert? Now, I must give a very serious, very important pronunciation warning right here.
Oh, pay attention to this, everyone.
This is a point of confusion for many, many English learners, and getting it wrong changes the meaning entirely. The sweet food you eat at the end of the meal is called dessert. It has 2 S's in the spelling, and it is pronounced dessert.
Dessert.
The emphasis, the heavy stress, is firmly on the second part, dessert. You must be careful to hit that second syllable, because there's another word spelled almost exactly the same way with only 1 S, but it means a dry, hot, sandy place like the Sahara.
Oh.
That word is desert, D-E-zert. The emphasis is entirely on the first part.
Oh, this is such a brilliant point to highlight. So if I'm not paying attention to my speaking rhythm and I say, I would like some dessert, I am literally asking the waiter to bring me a plate of hot sand.
Exactly. And a plate of sand would not be very delicious.
No, it certainly would not.
So remember, the sweet treat comes at the end, and the stress comes at the end of the word, dessert.
Let's practice the question you will hear, so your ear is trained to recognize it. Would you like dessert?
Repeat it slowly out loud. Would you like dessert?
Fantastic. So you confidently order your cheesecake, you eat every last bite, and your stomach is completely full. You are happy, which means it is time for our final stage, wrapping up and paying the bill.
It is time to leave, but first we have some final, critical vocabulary words to master regarding money.
Listen and repeat out loud. Cash.
Cash.
Credit card.
Credit card.
Receipt.
Receipt.
Tip. Tip. Now, how do we ask to pay? We cannot just stand up and walk out.
That would be bad.
We use our polite phrasing again. The foundational sentence from our text is, could we get the bill, please?
Could we get the bill, please? Let me add a very valuable cultural and usage note right here, because English changes slightly depending on where you are.
Where does it change?
Well, if you're traveling in the United Kingdom or Australia, bill is perfect. But if you are in the United States or speaking with Americans, people very, very often say the word check instead of the word bill.
Check.
They mean the exact same piece of paper with the total amount you owe.
Oh, that is incredibly good to know to avoid confusion. So instead of the bill, we say the check. How does that sound in a full, natural sentence?
You might hear, "Can we get the check?" Or even just a very polite shortened version, "The check, please." Both are perfectly fine, respectful, and completely natural in North America.
Let's practice that American version because it is so common in movies and television. Repeat the full sentence after me. Can we get the check?
Say it out loud. "Can we get the check?"
And let's practice the shorter, efficient version. The check, please.
Out loud. "The check, please."
Okay, so the waiter brings the small leather folder with the check inside. Now you have to tell them how you are going to pay. Are you using paper cash or are you handing them a plastic card?
Our source gives us the perfect, simple sentence for declaring your payment method. "I'll pay by card."
I'll pay by card.
I want to draw your attention to a very important usage tip here, something that separates beginners from more natural speakers. Notice the very first word, "I'll." This is a contraction. Native speakers almost always shorten "I will" to "I'll." Just like we discussed earlier with "I would like" becoming "I'd like," it is faster, and it sounds much more conversational and relaxed.
It makes the language flow so much better. We need to do a rhythm practice drill for this because getting comfortable with the I'll sound will instantly make your English sound more natural in dozens of situations, not just restaurants.
Let's practice a few examples.
I will say the full sentence, and I want you to repeat it out loud, focusing on smoothly blending the I'll sound into the next word. Here's the first one.
"I'll take the salad."
Practice the rhythm. I'll take the salad.
Let's do the next one. Imagine ordering your drink. "I'll have coffee."
Say it out loud. I'll have coffee.
And the sentence for paying.
I'll pay.
Repeat, "I'll pay."
You did it. Think about the incredible journey you just took. You walked in through that door. You greeted the host. You sat down and politely asked for water.
Your water.
Right, your water. You ordered your food naturally. You customized your side dishes. You checked in with the waiter mid-meal.
You ordered dessert, not desert.
And you confidently asked for the check and paid the bill. You successfully navigated the entire complex restaurant experience in English.
I want to sincerely congratulate you. If you have been repeating these phrases out loud with us, you have done incredibly hard work today. You have listened carefully to the rhythms of the language, and you have trained your mouth to speak them.
If we look back at our sources for a final review, they tell us clearly what the absolute best ways to improve your restaurant English are moving forward.
What is the secret formula for remembering all of this when the pressure is on?
It is actually 4 simple things. Number 1, repetition. Saying these full sentences over and over until they feel like muscle memory.
Number 2, listening carefully to the sounds and rhythms of native speakers.
Number 3, practicing your common food vocabulary before you arrive.
And number 4, repeating these useful expressions like "could I" and "I'll" many, many times in different scenarios.
It all comes back to practice. And here's where it gets really exciting for you as a learner. This is not just abstract textbook knowledge that you will never use. This is the real world.
Exactly. This is arguably the most practical type of English you can ever study.
Why is that?
Because these exact expressions, table for two, "could I have," what do you recommend, "I'll pay," they appear constantly in the real world. You will hear them in movies.
Yeah.
You will need them in airport cafes and hotel restaurants during your travel situations.
You will hear them in TV shows and in podcasts just like this one.
The more you hear these specific restaurant conversations, the more natural and automatic your own English will become.
It becomes automatic. That is the ultimate goal. You will reach a point where you will not have to translate in your head anymore. The words will just naturally appear when you need them.
So true.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into these sources today, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought, a little bit of encouraging real-world homework for you to try.
What is the assignment?
The next time you sit down on your couch to watch an English movie or a TV show, I want you to completely change the way you watch. Do not stress yourself out trying to understand every single word the actors are saying.
That is too much pressure, and it takes the fun out of watching.
Instead, I just want you to actively listen for 2 specific sounds we practiced today. Listen closely for the word "ow," and listen for the polite phrase, "could I?"
Just those two simple phrases.
Just those two. When you stop worrying about understanding the entire plot and you just hunt for "I'll" and "could I," you are going to be absolutely amazed at how quickly your brain recognizes them.
You'll realize they are everywhere in spoken English.
And every single time you hear one, I want you to smile because you know exactly what they mean, you know the psychology behind them, and you know how to say them perfectly yourself.
That is a wonderful, stress-free way to practice your listening skills.
You remember at the very beginning of our deep dive, we talked about that anxious feeling? Standing outside the restaurant door on that cobblestone street, feeling nervous about walking in and speaking a foreign language?
Yes, that feeling of dread.
Well, you hold the keys now. The door is unlocked. You know the script. You know the dance.
You really do.
You are ready to step inside any restaurant, anywhere in the English-speaking world, look the waiter in the eye and say, "Table for two, please. Class dismissed, happy dining."